Alright, so here we are in game number 4, and if you have not seen the previous match, spoiler alert, I won it. So I am 1-2. Here's my opponent's team. Bebop and Rocksteady are the kind of big portions of it. He just kind of threw something together so that he could play. He was coming back from out of town, so this was his opportunity to jump in and play a little bit. So back to the game. My opponent went first. He rolled 2 bolts and 2 shields. So he's going to Red Dragon Global me with a bolt. And then he's going to pay one of those energy, and he's going to take, I think he takes a big entrance. So let's see if he does that. He's going to spend a bolt to deal me a damage with the Red Dragon Global, which is a great utility global. I love the fact that it discounts and deals a damage. He's going to buy a big entrance with a bolt and a shield. He's also going to pay 2 somehow. Oh, no, he's going to pay 2 for a Black Widow. That is going to go in his bag, not the Black Widow, but the big entrance went into his bag. So I roll, I get a sidekick, I get a bolt, and a mask, and a question mark. So I'm going to pay a bolt, and I'm going to pay a mask to deal him 1 damage, and buy myself a big entrance. Field sidekick, pass turn. He couldn't do anything on his priority. I didn't have to pass priority because there wasn't anything in his reserve pool. No energy to use. So he draws big entrance, but he doesn't roll it yet. So let's see if he's going to re-roll. It's got a fist and a question mark, 2 energy, and a sidekick. So he's not going to re-roll it. He's going to spend all energy, and he's going to buy Rocksteady. Where's that Bebop? He's going to buy Bebop. I PXG. I draw 4. I draw big entrance. So this is 2 games out of 4 that I've drawn big entrance on turn number 2. And I've bought it first turn every time, which was the goal, but I have not rolled it very well. That was only I think that was I've only rolled it 1 time on turn number 2. So I have the ability to pay for a couple of things. I'm going to spend 4, and I'm going to buy a Wolverine. I actually kind of like Wolverine better, buying him first turn, or turn number 2, because when you buy him and field him, yeah, he's got a low defense, but you know if you have to defend yourself with him, he's going to KO just about anything that comes out on the field in these first couple of turns with his really high attack stats. So my opponent draws and rolls. He rolls big entrance this time. He's got 2 masks and a shield. So what is he going to buy and put into his bag? So he's going to use the big entrance, and he's going to buy, let's see, what did he buy? He bought another big entrance for 2 masks and a Black Widow for 1. I'm going to PXG over 5 dice, which means I'm going to be rolling a lot of dice, which is good for me. 1 in the bag, everything else goes in, and everything else will come out. So I get to roll everything, which is why I PXG'd 5. Alright, so a bunch of energy here. And I get Wolverine on one of his stronger faces. So I've got a sidekick. Really, I have to decide what do I want to re-roll. The sidekick and the bolt pairs well because, let's see. Oh, I don't have big blue eyes, so it doesn't pair well for me in this game. But I end up rolling 2 sidekicks instead of 1 sidekick and an energy. It's so easy to think that, you know, those power globals like blue eyes are always in the game because you use them so often. So when you finally put together a team that you don't use them in, it's kind of strange. I'm going to buy 1 Black Widow Stinger and going to end my turn with 2 sidekicks, or 2 question marks, I should say. Man, big entrance comes out again, but he doesn't roll it. See if he's going to re-roll. I've got 2 sidekicks. Again, I said sidekicks. 2 question marks that I'm going to PXG with. So I'll be able to move over 4 dice. He rolls the big entrance, and he's got 3 energy and a sidekick. So he probably should have hoped for a sidekick. He's going to pay 3. Going to buy Rocksteady over there. Goes into his bag. I'm going to PXG over 3. I don't have to PXG over 4 because I'm going to pick everything up and roll it again. So I've done a really good job of managing my board and also managing my bag. Not having to use the bag is a huge bonus. So I know I'm going to want to re-roll that big entrance because it's going to help me buy Nick Fury and Silver Sable and all those other things. I didn't pull it up though, so I'm going to have to spend 4 to buy Nick Fury. And I'm going to use one of the generics off that generic die. And so I have one generic. If I wanted to, I could pay one generic and something else. Or I can guarantee that I'm not going to use the bag again by PXGing. So that generic's going to go ahead and burn at some point. So he rolls, re-rolls. Bebop shows up, but not Black Widow. He's running a Black Widow from the new Civil War set that whenever you field it, she makes you spin down one of your characters. I finally remembered that I have to burn my generic energy there. He is going to Red Dragon Global me and buy another big entrance. I'm not huge on the whole buy up a ton of big entrances. It's good for ramp, but at what point does it become a detriment? What point does it become diminishing returns? PXG, PXG, PXG. Ain't nothing in the bag still. So I pick it all up and roll it. I land both characters and a big entrance, which is awesome, except the part where I have to pay 2 for each of those characters. So here I could honestly consider just re-rolling that Black Widow, because she's not going to do me too much good. I already have enough blockers. And the point's to get the combo out, so I could re-roll her for energy. I end up rolling the big entrance and her. Big entrance comes back. She comes up as a 2 shield character or side. And I'm going to pay 3 to buy a Silver Sable, pop that in the bag. Pay a fist to field Nick Fury. So all but one of the pieces is assembled. I just need an infiltrate now, and I need to land, obviously, the Silver Sable. Next turn. That's another great thing about using big entrance is you can prep each thing into the bag. You can put it all into the bag, and you know you're going to draw it. Helps with a combo team. So he's got, I think, 2 big entrances in there. He rolls both of them. It is a good thing that big entrance doesn't stack. So he's going to re-roll the character and big entrance. Hoping that Rocksteady comes up, but Rocksteady does the standard Dice Masters thing where it laughs at you after it started off on a 2 energy face and shows up in a 1. So he does not have much to play with. Not a lot of energy. PXG would be a great benefit to him, using the global instead of buying with the masks. So he's gonna pay and buy another Rocksteady. Pop it in the bag. Leaves him with a mask. I'm gonna PXG. He is going to not attack, it looks like. He can't PXG just yet because those have to move to the used pile. Right now, technically, they're in the spent pile because he spent them. All right, so I have everything but the 1 piece. Let's see if Silver Sable comes up. Good. All right, now I could Red Dragon Global and buy an Infiltrate here. I can also try to re-roll that big entrance so that it goes into the bag, which it will because I rolled it. So I have had some really good rolls this time, whereas my opponent has had some really unlucky rolls. Field, use, Red Dragon to knock him down with me. and buy an infiltrate, which goes into the bag. I am not going to field Black Widow, it looks like. I don't need to. Not necessary. And I'll let her burn. This gives me the opportunity to PXG 2 over and again roll everything next turn because there's only one thing in the bag and it's an infiltrate. I already have clear board control, so what's the point of fielding a Black Widow that's just going to sit there, especially if I land infiltrate and kill him next turn. So he's going to reroll Rocksteady. Rocksteady does not show up again. Yeah, my opponent just has not had good luck with his rolls, sadly. So he's going to spend a big entrance. He's going to Red Dragon Global, it looks like. That's why he's got that bolt sitting over there. I think he's thinking about what he wants to pay with. So technically he could buy any of these actions. That would reduce that by 2, making it 2. That would reduce that by 2, making it 1. So he's going to buy a field promotion. He's going to pay 2 for it. And so I take a hit down to 17. I'll PXG. And I will roll everything. Oh, it looks like there was one more thing in the bag. That's a sidekick or 2. So I know I'm going to re-roll that. Hopefully it comes up. If it does, that's game over. It does not. So here I can field this. I have the energy. Why not? I guess I don't even have to pay for it because it's 0 fielding cost, which is great. I'll buy another one. It does not go in the bag. I actually bought 2 of them. I put one in the bag thinking that I Red Dragon Globaled. Or not Red Dragon Global. Thinking that I big entrance, used a big entrance. You get so used to it that you just throw it in there. I caught it when I bought the second one. And I did Red Dragon Global to hit him for 1, bringing us both down to 17. One question mark in the field in my reserve pool. So that'll PXG me over 2. Meaning that I again will roll 3. I'll roll 3 of those things next turn. 3 of those infiltrates. Okay, so he's going to field one of these Black Widows, which means I have to choose something to spin down. He's also got 2 sidekicks and a field promotion. He's paying a shield to make me to field the character so that I have to spin something down. So I'll spin something down. I spin down the Silver Sable because if I land a big or an infiltrate, I'm just going to sacrifice her anyway. What's the point? He's going to Red Dragon Global me and pay 1. Pay the shield for a big entrance. And it's at this point where he's starting to use Professor X Global, which is the right thing to do, but he should have started earlier. I've seen a lot of people in my local area wait to start using PXG until the mid-game, which is really, it really slows your team down. So I would highly recommend PXGing early, just building it up. Let the ramp do the work. So I'll PXG. Draw 1. Oh, that was still in the bag is a big entrance. Roll it all up, and there's one that lands. So I'm going to field those sidekicks. No, I'm going to re-roll. How silly of me. At this point, it's not necessary to re-roll any of this or to do any buying. He's going to PXG. And then I sacrifice Silver Sable. Apply the infiltrate to Wolverine, giving him the Avengers affiliation and a couple of defense. And he's going to swing out for, I think, 20 damage on the top, right on? Yeah, 20 damage. So that'll do it. All right, so that puts me at 2-2 for the tournament. Yeah, I thought this team was a lot of fun to play. Once I started to figure out what I needed to buy and what I didn't need to buy, this was a really fun team to play. I actually did some tweaks to this team recently. I think yesterday I did some tweaks to it. Went out and played here at my local game store again. And after making the changes that I made to it, this is a really angry, mean, scary team because I killed my opponents very quickly with it. So I will now make a video showing the changes that I made to it and showing what things I got from that tournament. The Game Closet, which is my local game store, they give awesome prizes out for playing in these tournaments. So let me go ahead and show you those. Thanks for watching.